Well, good Thursday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, everybody is doing all right today. Long time no see. It's been about a week, I think, since you've actually made like face-to-face contact with me, as face-to-face as it gets during the Corona era, anyway. But anyway, yeah, I'm good. In case any rumors have been floating around that I've suddenly fallen ill myself, and that's why I haven't shown myself online in a week. That's not accurate. A lot of the videos that I've been putting up recently have been we've basically been asked by the College Board to do so to kind of get students that are taking AP around the country kind of all on the same page. So that's sort of the reasoning behind using some of those lessons recently as opposed to my own. You can go either way. But anyhow, just wanted to touch base with you guys on a couple of things coming up. To kind of give you some insights. These are some things I've been working on for quite a while now and am ready to kind of roll out in an announcement in terms of, where we're kind of going next. So if you've been looking at the calendar, and certainly you have, then that today technically is the end of Unit 7, today the 16th of April. I'm sorry, I have no idea what day it is today. Today, the 23rd of April, is technically the end of the unit that we've been in. And then you'll notice on Monday, it just says exam review and Unit 7 exam. So what will that look like this go around? Gonna look quite a bit different than the previous, or really kind of anything that you've done previously. Partially kind of doing this for your sanity. In terms of kind of the modification going forward and a few other modifications going forward. Excuse me, what? And so anyhow, what will this look like? So your Unit 7 exam is going to hopefully be fairly stress-free, but still give you the opportunity to engage in some topics from Unit 7. By and large, Unit 7, unless it connects into the first 5 units of the course, as you guys remember, is not something that's going to be tested on the national exam, which, reminder, is on May the 12th. So with that in mind, listen, all of the knowledge that you've received this particular unit is essential. It's important. If you're taking this course, college professors expect that you got this information that you've gotten the past few weeks, whether it's on the national exam or not. College professors expect that you have learned it. Okay, and so at this point you have. So what I want to do is I want to assess you a little bit differently this particular unit, and there's actually some choice and some flexibility involved here as well. Of course, ultimately, if you decide not to take the exam, it doesn't get really held against you, although I would strongly caution you against doing that. I would strongly encourage you that you should take any opportunity for learning and being assessed that's being given to you. But here's how this is going to go. This was an interesting year at the Oscars that just went by. And I know that sounds like a complete change of subject, but it's not. This was an interesting year at the Oscars, for sure. Every single nominee for the best documentary feature film, every single one, all 5 of them without exception, related in some way to AP Human Geography, which is really, really cool. That doesn't happen that often where we go 5 for 5. Usually there's like 2 or 3 in the mix. It's like, oh, wow, that really, really relates well. Literally this year for the Oscars were held in 2020 for films that came out in 2019. Every single film related to AP Human Geography. And interestingly enough, there's 2 categories of documentary award that they give. There's one for documentary feature, that's the category I'm talking about. And then there's a second category for documentary short film. It's a documentary too. It's instead of it being like an hour and a half to 2 hours, this film is going to be under an hour. Both winners this year not only related to AP Human Geography, but directly related to this particular unit, Unit 7, on kind of the geography of economic development. I want to introduce you first to the winner of the best documentary feature film this year. It's the film that you see the poster up here for. It's a film called American Factory. And it deals very, very, very specifically with topics regarding the global division of labor, indirectly with like the Rosto model, which you've learned in the past week, the issues regarding minimization of labor costs on the part of big global firms and how they do that, and ultimately the film really kind of focuses on what industry looks like and deindustrialization looks like in the 21st century. Very, very interesting film. Interestingly enough, also it's on Netflix, and very accessible, as many, if not most of you, or your parents or somebody that you know has a Netflix account. So the film's called American Factory, and that was the winner of the best documentary feature film this year. The winner of the best documentary short film this year was this one. It's a film called Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone If You're a Girl, which is a great title. And it takes place in Afghanistan. It takes place in Kabul, at a center known as Skatistan. And essentially, when you talk about GII, when you talk about Gender Inequality Index, Afghanistan's got one of the lowest in the world. And this organization, Skatistan, kind of exists with the overall goal and purpose of raising up gender development, right? Raising up women's place in GII around the world. I mean, essentially, that's what this organization does, Skatistan. And so this is a short film that deals with that and some of the methods that they use, and kind of just the reality of, being a young woman in Kabul, Afghanistan at this point in the world. So very, very much focused on human development, very, very much focused on gender development specifically. And so it's a really, really great film as well. All right, so why are we talking about these two films? The reason why we're talking about these two films is because for your Unit 7 exam, you are going to be asked to assess one of them. There will be kind of two sort of questions or two sections of the exam, one dealing with American Factory and one dealing with learning to skateboard in a war zone if you're a girl. It's really your choice which film that you choose to answer the question on. You're not going to be asked to answer both questions. You're going to be asked to answer simply one. And those questions will basically kind of tie together some content that you've learned in this unit with the film itself, and basically testing your ability to tie content that you saw in the film to geography content itself. And so hopefully that's, relatively stress-free as far as exams are concerned. They're both very well-made films. So your choice really going into the exam on Tuesday is which film do you want to watch? Which film do you want to take notes on in terms of as... The only thing I'm going to ask you to take notes on in the film, I'm not going to give you like a question sheet. What I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to kind of take notes on as many geographic themes as possible as you can find that not only relate to this unit, but really any other unit of the course as well. And then you're going to be asked to kind of discuss some of those themes essentially on Tuesday. On Monday, what we're going to do is we're going to have kind of a Zoom chat session. I don't know what time yet because I'm supposed to go into the building on Monday morning, but I might have to kind of switch that around just a little bit. So I don't really know what time yet, but I'll let you know sometime this weekend as to when that exact Zoom chat is going to happen. And so what it'll do, I'm basically going to hold two. And I'm going to do them for about a half hour to 45 minutes a piece. I'm going to kind of space them out by about 45 minutes anyway. And so the first one will be for anybody that wants to come in and discuss the film American Factory. We'll just basically have just kind of a film discussion. You will not be able to really participate in it unless you've watched the film already. I hope this doesn't come across like I'm giving you sort of homework over the weekend, because that's not the intention. But ultimately, I'm going to post this afternoon. So you've got Thursday night, you've got Friday, you've got Saturday, you've got Sunday, and you've got, I don't know, part of the morning on Monday, I suppose. You know what? Let's go ahead and establish a Zoom chat time right now for Monday. Let's go ahead and establish the chat time at 3 o'clock. So 3 p.m. We'll have a Zoom chat for American Factory. Let's just go ahead and call it right now. So that gives you Monday morning as well, to watch the film if you so desire to push it down that far. And then what we'll do is we'll have a discussion on the film. We'll talk about how it kind of relates to the course, how it relates to the unit, how it relates to geography as a whole, and that'll be that. That'll be American Factory. Okay. And then at 3:45, we'll have a discussion with anybody that saw the film, Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone. If you're a girl, and we'll sit down and we'll have a chat about that and how it relates to especially like gender development. Okay. And HCI in this unit. So we'll do that. Okay. So 3 o'clock on Monday, American Factory discussion. If you decide to come on in, please don't come if you haven't watched the film because it doesn't really serve much purpose. You really need to hear more from you than you need to hear from me on this. I'll give a little bit more clarity as to maybe how the question will be formatted as well for the exam. I have not yet figured that out myself, so that will be the case. And then 3:45, learning to skateboard in a war zone. Okay. So that's how we'll be doing that. Oh, one last thing. I did mention that American Factory's on Netflix. So, if you have a Netflix account, boom, that's where you're going to find it. Learning to skateboard in a war zone, if you're a girl, is a little bit more hidden online, but definitely available. I'll give you two ways to do it. If you've got a cable subscription, if your parents are subscribed to some cable package or another, AT&T, Comcast, whatever, then you should be able to see this without a problem if you choose to see it. It's on A&E, the network, A&E, A&E. It's on the A&E network. And so you can just download their app. And if you've got any kind of cable subscription, then you can go ahead and log in to that account through the A&E app. And then what that will allow you to do is to have access to whatever content that they have online, including this film. So that's one way to access it, is through the A&E app. The other way to access it is if you have a DirecTV account. If you're not, with like AT&T or Comcast or whatever these other companies are, but you have an AT&T, or sorry, if you have a DirecTV account instead, this film is also streaming for free on demand through DirecTV. So that's your other option in terms of streaming this. It's available for purchase as well, through Amazon or through iTunes or whatever, right, through the Apple app. I'm not going to encourage you to spend $10 on something unless you just absolutely want to, but that's really more kind of up to you. And that's what your exam is going to look like on Tuesday. Okay. Great. So that's it for that announcement. I only have like 2 more minutes left on this segment, so I'm going to try to hurry the rest of this through. Actually, you know what? That is going to be this is your announcement regarding the Unit 7 exam. Let's just leave it there. I'm going to go ahead and stop this now. There is a second announcement that I will be sharing with you as well, and I will hit that on the next video, and that's going to be regarding your final exam and some national exam stuff as well. Okay.